Konnichiwa, minasan. I'm Great Oka United Empire. 今日は試合があった。そして彼がエンパイアの応援してくれるってよ。みんな、ブローキンテーブルポッドキャストよろしく。
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. This is episode number 50, the bicentennial episode with our AEW Dynamite review for Blood and Guts. I am here with my co-host, Rome, as always. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing fantastic, and in the future, please announce me as the reigning, defending, Broken Predictions champion.
I apologize. I'm here with the reigning, defending, Broken Predictions champion, co-host, Rome.
Thank you. Much better. I knew you could do it, Jeffrey.
Thank you to everybody who are here with us tonight on YouTube and everybody who would be listening on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or any of our other platforms as well. Please hit that subscribe or follow button, whichever you may have on your platform. Big T already in the chat. All hail King Rome. So before we get into our Dynamite here tonight, I believe you had something you wanted to say?
Yes. So... for those that joined us on Sunday for the Broken Tables podcast for the Forbidden Door post show, I know that there was some controversy going around, and I just kind of wanted to take a minute to address it. Because I'm not, I don't run from things. At the end of the show Sunday, I had some negative opinions about Forbidden Door, and I just want to say that, as the days have gone on, I've kind of lightened up to it. I think I was a little unnecessary towards my criticism of the booking of the show. So, I just wanted to apologize for that. At the end of the day, Forbidden Door was an excellent pay-per-view, and I had no problem with the booking that ended the show.
Oh, I thought you had something to say about the whole incident with Forrest.
Right. Okay. So, again, it was a non-sanctioned match. I lost, but it was a non-sanctioned, unofficial match. It doesn't even count on the win-loss records. It is what it is. It's like a football team losing a preseason game. It's like I was just trying some crazy shit because I knew it was for fun, yeah.
So Big T says, "Shh, my king, can we please bask in the glory of Jeff's shirt?" Yeah, I've been waiting to surprise the pod with this shirt here. It is the New Japan logo in the color of the Chicago flag. It is the coolest shirt I have ever seen. I had to buy it the moment I saw it.
Absolutely, it's a very cool shirt.
All right, so did you finish up your thing with Forrest there? What's going on with you and Forrest here?
All right, look, so I don't know what the guy's problem is. He beat me in an unofficial, unsanctioned match. And instead of being, a gracious winner, the guy quit the podcast. I haven't talked to him since Sunday. He's not answering my calls. He's not answering my texts. So, here's what we're going to do. Forrest didn't quit the podcast. Because he's fired. He's not coming back. I'm done with this guy. If this guy wants to be like this, if he wants to behave like this over an exhibition match, then he's never, ever coming close to this. So, I want to get into Dynamite. It was an excellent show, but I just wanted to address that. Sorry to all zero of Forrest's fans, but he ain't coming back.
Low blow. But okay, so let's go ahead and get into the review of Dynamite Blood and Guts here, because holy shit, what a main event, man. I usually don't start by talking about a main event, but we started this thing off at like 9 p.m., starting off with the entrances and the video preview for this thing. This was one hell of a Blood and Guts main event. We'll get into the details of it later on in the pod, but my God, man, what an excellent episode of Dynamite, huh?
Oh my God, this was an all-timer for me. This was just such an excellent television show, not just a pro wrestling show, but just an excellent television show. I wrote multiple times in my notes tonight that this is such, like, everything was so intriguing. I'm so intrigued as where we go from here for a lot of the storylines that were on TV tonight. And I also, like you said, the main event was just fucking excellent, phenomenal. I have a lot of notes for the main event because there was just so many great spots worth mentioning. But it's, yeah, man, what an excellent episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to start off with the Orange Cassidy versus Ethan Page match because Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay stole the show a little bit at Forbidden Door, so I thought they would hold this one off, but this started off the show, and man, this was a really, really good match. I'm not quite sure that I enjoy Orange Cassidy's new song yet, but it always takes me a moment to get used to a new song. Especially when I really, really enjoyed his other song. I thought it was one of the best entrance musics in AEW, actually. I have to hear the song a few more times before I, do my judgments on it. But on first glance or first listen, I don't think it fit him. Like, he's supposed to be like the lazy dude, and the song had a lot of effort put into it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and I understand. So the thing you got to remember is that there's two ways to look at Orange Cassidy, and one way is the "Where Is My Mind" song, but then the other one is this other song, which I believe is called Jane. And it's believe it or not, I think it's actually a really perfect song. When I first heard it, like, we knew it was coming because unfortunately Sean Ross Sapp leaked it, and Tony Khan wasn't very happy about it. He mentioned that during the medium scrum for Forbidden Door. I think it was an excellent entrance. The crowd loved it. It was a huge pop. I think the thing is, we have to look at Orange Cassidy. Like, yes, he's this wrestler that, like, the whole point of his character is he could be the greatest of all time if he just gave a fuck. And I think this song kind of plays to the other half of Orange Cassidy, where it's like, oh no, he's gonna try to kick your ass. He might kind of like fall back and get a little what's the word? Lazy. But at the end of the day, the dude is he's one of the best pro wrestlers in the world. Like, sorry. And that is very cool. Very cool little signed picture you got there.
Yeah, Big T was kind of seeing it there in the background. I'm surprised he noticed that it was autographed there, but yes, yeah. Purple, you should go grab the chair and slowly pass it to me here on the pod. We also bought one of the Forbidden Door chairs. It was our first pay-per-view we've ever been to, so it just felt right,
Yeah, and I see Big T in the chat saying that the only thing that sucked about the main event was the commercials. Unfortunately, if you're going to do a match like this on free TV, you're going to have commercials. But kind of similar to what Juan is saying, at least they don't have a ton of commercials like WWE. They have a commercial break every 5 minutes for WWE. And I actually think that's one of the bright spots about AEW, and I agree with that. And the other thing is that all the commercial breaks for that match were picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you were able to, I mean, you could theoretically have seen the whole match. I just use commercial breaks to, like, get ready for the podcast and stuff like that, so I missed quite a few of the picture-in-pictures, but it is, it wasn't that bad. I actually kind of want to give them credit. I thought that the pacings of the commercial breaks were they were way better than last year's Blood and Guts.
Yeah, I thought they were perfect.
They went up right before the next guy came in. So you come back from break and you're instantly getting someone injected to the match. There's only like really one spot that I wish they had done outside of commercial break, and we'll get to it. But yeah, I want to focus on Orange Cassidy and Ethan Page. I thought that the entrance was awesome. I love that the video, the stage that they used for Forbidden Door and the LA show is back. I love that Best Friends are back. That was super awesome. Now that Forbidden Door's over, we're back to the Best Friends, which I'm a bigger Best Friend guy than, Roppongi Vice, as you can see.
I love how she's in the basket like E.T'd.
I know, it's so great. I do miss the alien character a little bit, but Chris Statlander's still excellent, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, man, great presentation. This whole show had a real good presentation to it.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed the whole Dan Lambert thing coming out, and he tricked Bryce Rimsberg into kicking the Best Friends out by saying, they don't have a management license, so they don't deserve to be ringside. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
There was one spot in this match that concerned me for a second when Orange Cassidy went for a Hurricane Rana, And I don't know if Ethan Page didn't grab his legs or if he didn't like cross his legs behind his head, but he went from Hurricane Rana to just splat right on the mat, and it didn't look like it felt too good.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that, but I mean, everyone seemed fine, so I'm gonna assume everything's okay on that front. But I did enjoy the power of the pockets. I think that was the first time that term was used. But so Ethan Page has Cassidy up for the Ego's Edge or whatever it's called, his finisher, and Orange Cassidy's fighting to get his hands in his pockets, and as soon as he does, he's able to power out of the hold. And I thought that was awesome. Jeff? Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. I don't hear Jeff anymore on the Discord, so we'll see what happens with that. So the finish was also excellent. Hopefully Jeff is still with us. So the finish was excellent for this match. I really loved it. So Dan Lambert's got some orange juice, and Cassidy grabs the orange juice out of his hands, takes a drink of it, kind of jumps away from Ethan Page, who's going after him, dodges out of the way, dodges back, hits him with the orange punch, and whatchamacallit, spits the orange juice into Dan Lambert's face. I thought that was really cool. Still don't hear Jeff. Okay, so Advogato in the chat saying doesn't hear him either, just sees him. See, well, the problem is, the thing you got to remember, right, is...
All right, how about now?
The show's all about me. Hold on, Jeff. So the show is all about me, so as long as you guys can see and hear me, that's all that matters. You know, we kicked what's-his-name out of the podcast. He's not here anymore. And Jeff, you will remain silent when I'm speaking. So, but I'm glad that you're back.
We're gonna have to blame that one on Purpleness. I muted my mic because she turned one of my lights off, and then I forgot to unmute the mic. So, all right. So basically, Orange Cassidy hit the orange punch and then hit the orange mist.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite things there. The orange punch followed by an orange mist. I thought that was great, and then a second orange punch to Ethan Page. That was a great ending sequence. He finally hit the body slam he was trying to hit on Ethan Page the entire night. He kept doing the I think that's the Ultimate Warrior thing, to do a body slam, and I think it was his fourth or fifth try.
The finish. That was the finish. I was trying to figure out if we were still live, so I was like, I'm just gonna keep going, I guess. So I love the spot with the body slam because they tease it like 4 times throughout the match, where he's like trying to do the body slam and he can't get him up, and then finally he does it. And yeah, it was excellent. Juan in the chat asking if we think Orange Cassidy will ever win the AEW championship, and I think that's a really difficult question.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that there's so many big stars. I think Orange Cassidy absolutely deserves to win the AEW championship at some point. I don't know how old he is, Jeff. Do you know how old he is?
I don't. He's got to be in his 20s though, early 20s, maybe late. But
No,
I don't see him winning the championship with the current character he has. It just, you gotta think like, does it make any sense? You know what I mean? And it really wouldn't really. If he came up with,
we disagree.
I think if he came up with the version of Orange Cassidy that was like, I'm going to go 100%, I'm actually going to start caring. I could see it working fine, but I don't know. I just don't see it being a believable thing that regular wrestling fans wouldn't turn away from. I think regular wrestling fans would be like, are you serious? So
I completely disagree with you. Number one, clarifying that Orange Cassidy's 38. Yeah, I knew he wasn't in his
38.
20s. There's no
what?
way there's no way that guy is in his 20s.
That's crazy.
So I mean, the thing is, I actually disagree with what you're saying about Orange Cassidy. I think that what's considered, like, number one, like, what are you defining as a regular wrestling fan? Because this man just had a 5-star match of the year. Until I see something better, that's the match of the year on Sunday. So what exactly are you defining as a regular wrestling fan? And if you define someone that watches the New York territory, I'm just gonna instantly turn.
I'm gonna say somebody who wouldn't consider a comic character to be a championship contender. So
I just think that it's not the end of the world for a wrestler to use comedy in their matches. I mean, it's just more entertaining. I
No,
mean,
it's not the end to use it, but Orange Cassidy kind of is it at the moment. You know what I mean? Like in his matches recently, they've been way less of the comedy aspect. Like he hasn't done the roll out of the ring thing in a long time, which, you know, that's cool, but I'm just saying, as a fan of wrestling, I wouldn't believe for 1 second that he would be the champion. It would definitely turn me off. And that's not a knock on him. It's just a knock on the character doesn't fit championship material to me.
I disagree. I think that yes, there's a balance, and I think that if he's like the Orange Cassidy we got tonight and the Orange Cassidy we got on Sunday, like that's the Orange Cassidy that could win the world title. And
Yeah.
it's the same character. It's just tweaking it a little bit, which is fine. But it's not a different character. It is the same character. It's the Orange Cassidy character.
He really feels different to me though, and especially in this match, he was doing this pump up the roof thing, and he was, you know, it felt different.
So I'll say this, in my opinion, being a world champion, you need to do two things to be a world champion in any promotion. Any promotion. Number one, there needs to be a connection. The fans need to care about this guy, whether they care enough to cheer him because he's a babyface or care enough to boo him because he's a heel. If you're a world champion, you need to be able to elicit those reactions. And Orange Cassidy absolutely does that. The people love Orange Cassidy. He's super over every time he comes out. They love how funny he is, but they also love how badass he is. We forget that this man has victories over Chris Jericho, Adam Cole, baby, amongst others.
Yeah.
I see your point, but I just strongly disagree. And then the other part, you know, the first being the connection. The second part is, can you put on good matches? Matches that deserve to end the show. And I think Orange Cassidy has proven that he can do that. The guy is extremely talented in the ring, and you know, I would almost go as far as say that I view Orange Cassidy as almost the ultimate package. Like the guy does excellent matches. He's done almost every kind of style match that you can imagine. He's been in ladder matches, regular matches, street fights, gimmick matches, like you name it, he's been in it. And you know, they've all been excellent. And then he gets into the ring with Will Ospreay and has an excellent wrestling match. Like I don't know. I completely disagree with your sentiment. I understand the sentiment. Absolutely. I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think someone that you find humorous makes them not eligible to win a world title. So that's just my opinion.
I'm not saying like in any capacity or anything, but like when I say like win a world title, I imagine like having a run with the current champion, having a couple matches and winding up coming out on top, you know, with a clean win. Like for me, I don't know. I don't see that as part of Orange Cassidy's character. But if we come up with some sort of a gimmick like this battle royale is a perfect type of thing, like some way for him to win outside of just feuding with the champion and like a normal championship win, I think I could believe something like that. Like, I guess I got to go to my Fed roots here and say like a Money in the Bank type situation for him. I could totally believe him becoming champion for a little while like that. But I don't even know if I would want to see like a long run of him as champion, even though I love the guy. Like, you know, I like Orange Cassidy, but I feel like it may have to be like a Rey Mysterio type thing. Like give him the belt and, you know, next week take it back from him or something. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm digging myself a hole here. So I would trump
your Fed roots with deeper Fed roots, and I would say that Orange Cassidy winning the AEW World Championship, which we're going to get to the rest of the show, but this Juan has sparked an excellent conversation.
He definitely has.
Thank you, Juan.
Definitely has.
I would say that Orange Cassidy winning the AEW World Heavyweight Championship would be akin to Mick Foley winning the WWE Championship in 1999. This is a man that shouldn't have been a world champion. I mean, you're talking about guys on that roster at the time: Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, Triple H.
Yeah.
Like those guys on the roster were all exactly what WWE wanted in their stars. Yeah. Mick Foley was not that guy.
Now,
Mick Foley became a champion because of his connection to the people and his ability to put on captivating matches. And again, at the end of the day, in my opinion, that's what makes a great world champion. That's why I never accepted Roman Reigns, you know, back when I was a Fed fan, because the guy, like, the guy did not elicit reactions from people apart from go away. I'd rather see someone else.
Yeah.
And he wasn't putting on great matches. I mean, nowadays he usually gets carried through due to the guys that they put against the ring from him.
So forgive me if I'm remembering this incorrectly, but I'm remembering Mick Foley won that excuse me, won that championship because DX helped him, right?
Steve Austin and DX, but again, I mean, the reason doesn't matter. And also I believe Mick Foley did win it again. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm sure
I'm just saying like that something like that would be believable to me. Like I would be perfectly fine if someone like interrupted the match and helped him win it. I just never in a million years could I see Orange Cassidy beating Jon Moxley clean in a championship run. Like that's kind of all I'm saying.
I understand.
Is Rampage live this Friday? No, it is not. They are filming Rampage as we speak.
That's why they booked a way to have 2 rings on Friday, and we'll talk about it.
All right, so I absolutely loved this match again. This was not as good as his match with Will Ospreay, obviously, because Ethan Page is not Ospreay, but Ethan Page is great as well. He put on a great match with Orange Cassidy. I loved the finish to this, the orange punch, orange mist, orange punch. Like that was great. I loved it. That was a great conversation you just sparked, Juan. Like that's all I can think about right now. Like I felt like I was digging myself a hole trying to explain why, but it is what it is.
You absolutely did dig yourself a hole. You picked the wrong guy to try to say Orange Cassidy's not world championship caliber. And just to kind of finish up the conversation, I do understand your point. I do think that there is an echelon in AEW, and I think Orange Cassidy right now may not be in that echelon where he can win the world title, but I think all that comes down to is just book him in some more feuds where he comes out on top.
That's a good way to put it.
I don't think it has anything to do with the character in terms of the wrestling he's doing, the gimmick, anything like that. I don't think there's anything that Orange Cassidy's doing wrong that's preventing him from being world champion. It's more so, is Tony Khan going to book him in a way to win the world title? And that's more so the question. If you ask me, do I think he should win the world title? Yes. Do I think he will? Probably not. I think it's very difficult based off who they have now. And like you said, like Juan pointed out, and I think Advogato also did, he is 38. So
that's crazy. He doesn't even look it though.
No, he doesn't. He's in pretty damn good shape too, all things considered. So I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I will be very happy if Orange Cassidy ever wins the world title. There are guys, again, like when CM Punk won the world title, it was super emotional. I get really invested in my guys, and Orange Cassidy is one of those guys. Him winning the world title would be extremely big to me.
I would pop. I would be like, holy shit. You know what I mean? It would be awesome. I'm just giving my honest opinion there.
That's you're just a programmed Fed fan. You're just like, he's not 6'5", over 300 pounds.
True. I mean, yeah.
People are speculating in the chat CM Punk could help him win. That would just be that would be amazing.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be the most amazing thing ever.
And then Punk going heel, being like, I did this so I could get my belt back from you easily. All right, let's get up to the next segment here. Next up, we had Tony Schiavone introducing Christian Cage coming out to address his words from last week. Apparently, the higher-ups had demanded an apology from him. So he comes out and gets booed heavily. Like, he's got some real heat going on right now. And he says to Jungle Boy, I'm sorry that your whole family is not dead. My God, dude, I didn't think he was going to go farther than he did last week, but here we are. I know you had to love this one.
I fucking love this promo. I love a good heel promo. It really gets me going, let's say. This was so excellent. I mean, Christian Cage, this man I think I said it last week. This man may be the most underrated man in the history of pro wrestling. Like, he is so underrated. Like, obviously people recognize him as like a multiple time world champion and stuff, but like nobody ever talks about Christian Cage in terms of like when you mentioned the greats of the era. Like people may say Edge and Christian, but like no one ever like gives Christian his flowers based off his solo career.
Right.
And like the man's been killing it for at this point. Like I remember like I remember WrestleMania like 20 in 2004. This guy was not doing this level of shit, but it was really good stuff. And he's just a great heel, excellent, just excellent in general. I loved like you said, I'm sorry your whole family isn't dead, maybe except your mom. And then he
Call
like
me.
kind of
Oh
motions
my
like, call
god.
me. I'm just like, so basically Christian Cage said, like, Jungle Boy, your dad's dead, and I want to fuck your mom. That's what Christian Cage has said to Jungle Boy.
That was insane, dude.
Yeah, and then you like that would have been perfect enough, but then Christian Cage is like, I requested a match, but not for me. And then fucking Luchasaurus comes out, heel turn Luchasaurus.
Oh, so good.
Mask, black tights. The entrance music was perfect. Mikey Ruckus fucking killed this one.
And
like,
Big T, yeah,
perfect.
we all called that black attire, man. It was just you had to know it was coming. It was so good, so good.
Yeah, it was excellent.
I think this was heel turn perfection. Like from the beginning of Christian turning to this squash in the ring of Serpentico, this was absolute perfection of a heel turn right here. This was amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. What up,
yeah,
Miyaja?
I completely agree. Yeah, what's up, Maduga? Juan saying Christian had better promo skills as a heel than a babyface. Glad to see him doing his thing now. Yeah, man. I mean, I think everybody has their thing that they're better at. I mean, and Christian's just a really good heel. This was excellent, and the Luchasaurus spot was excellent. It's going to be awesome when Jungle Boy gets back. He's nursing an injury. We don't know the severity of it, but he's when he comes back, this is going to be such a hot feud. And again, like I said this at the top of the show, and I wrote it down multiple times, just being one of the times. This is such intriguing TV. I can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to hear Christian come out. Do you let Luchasaurus say anything? Like, I don't know if you do or not, but like, regardless, where we go from here, I'm so into it, and I just want to see more.
Absolutely.
Like, after this episode of Dynamite, I was like, I can't wait for next Wednesday to get here. I just want to like blink, and next Wednesday's here.
Right.
Like, honestly. Juan saying, I'm not surprised Luchasaurus aligned himself with Christian. Luchasaurus is a dinosaur. He doesn't have human emotions. Christian treated him like a pet. Well, no. So I think what did it, and I think they're going to talk about it, is last week Christian said, as Luchasaurus is coming at him, Christian's like, remember what they did to Marco, which would be Marco's stunt. Clearly, Christian is trying to sell Luchasaurus on the fact that Jungle Boy is the head of that stable, and he's the guy that's going to keep going up and up and up. And eventually, he's going to not need Luchasaurus anymore. So I think Luchasaurus made a decision here to kind of preserve himself, which is funny because he's a dinosaur preserving himself. But yeah, man, this was fucking awesome. I was so into this.
Dude, I actually popped hard when his music started, and it was like this epic, I don't even know what to call it. It was like epic movie music, man. And I was like, oh my God, Luchasaurus. It was so good.
It sounded like scary dinosaur. Like, this fucking dinosaur is coming and he's going to kill you. Like,
it was awesome.
You better run. This is not a fun dinosaur.
So somebody was in the chat talking about Arthur Ashe Stadium possibly being a return for Punk, but I think it'll more than likely be the All Out. But speaking of Arthur Ashe, the Battle of the Belts there, I think we might try to go to that one. You are welcome to.
How did you know I was about to say, Jeff, we should go to Arthur Ashe Stadium this year?
Because,
I was literally, I swear to God, on my championship, my Broken Predictions championship, that I was literally about to say, Jeff, I think I really want to go to Grand Slam.
Yeah, we should definitely plan that. Great minds think alike, Yeah.
Well, you did such a great job with the seats. While I am the champion of predictions, you are definitely the champion of seats. So let's say you get the seats and then I'll pay you.
Yes.
Once you get them.
As soon as they go on sale, I will do my best.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna. Yeah, I would love to go. I would absolutely love to go to Arthur Ashe Stadium.
So after this match, Christian had Luchasaurus chokeslam Serpentico on the outside of the ring. That looked extremely painful. Ouch. That's all I could say on that one. Next up was Scorpio Sky and Wardlow facing off backstage with Tony Khan. They basically had an agreement for no violence here, but they decided on a street fight for next week. And I think that is the way that Scorpio Sky is going to retain his title here. He's pretty much going to have the entire American Top Team versus Wardlow. And American Top Team is a lot more competent than some security guards, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a great way to have Wardlow lose his chance at the title. Um, I think you can do that, and then you can have him feud with the rest of America's Top Team while Scorpio Sky has a little bit of a title reign. I do think the end goal is to get the title on Wardlow, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see how long how this title reign lasts. It really sucks for Scorpio Sky, but at the same time, like, you got to give Wardlow the title. The guy's just so over. It's really a shame that they didn't give Scorpio Sky the title sooner and they didn't jump it around for a few weeks. Because it's like, man, Scorpio Sky is really getting the short end of the stick on this one. But
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? Wardlow's just so over. You gotta give him the TNT title.
Yeah, it's just bad timing for him, man. So many guys are hitting like a really peak of their push right now, and it's just sorry, dude. But I like what Big T says. If they do this right, we get Luchasaurus versus Wardlow coming soon. That would be incredible. All right, so next up, next up was the Acclaimed versus Danhausen and his mystery partners. It was the Acclaimed Max Caster and the Gun Club, Austin and Colton, the Ass Boys. Max Caster came out with his rap, and this was the first Max Caster rap ever that absolutely missed me. I did not laugh at one line of his. I thought it was actually really bad.
Yeah, I think it's because of the story they're trying to tell here. I think that, like, they kind of took Caster out of his element a little bit. I think they made him not get more serious, but it was just like the point of the rap this time was to kind of build up the Gun Club a little bit.
Yeah.
And it just didn't hit as well. I don't think it was bad. I thought it was decent. I don't think he's had a bad one yet. This may be one of the lesser good ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, this was fine. But the match itself that follows was a really fun match.
It was great. I could not believe when we found out. Actually, I called it. I said it's going to be FTR, but I still couldn't believe it when I was correct that FTR was Danhausen's tag partners for this trios match. Wow, what a team up here. I wasn't expecting it, but somehow I said it right before their music hit. It was kind of odd, but go ahead. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was really fun. I had a great time with it. I did like seeing FTR team up with Danhausen.
Mm-hmm.
There's some continuity there because CM Punk and Danhausen are friends, and of course FTR and CM Punk are friends. So
There
it
we
kind of
go.
makes sense, even in kayfabe, for these guys all to team up.
And Excalibur said he thinks that Danhausen threatened to curse them backstage is why they teamed up with him. That was pretty funny.
That was really funny. But yeah, no, what followed was just a really fun match. I mean, I want to talk about the finish and the ending,
Mhm.
but this was really fun. I had a blast with this match.
Did you notice Austin Gunn was covered in glitter? He was sparkly.
I did.
I was
notice
at
that.
first I was like, he looks oddly sweaty, and then I was like, wait a minute, his sweat is glistening, and I was like, he is covered in sparkles. Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting.
Yeah. So this was the first time we got to see Danhausen in the ring in a serious wrestling capacity. He was in there for a good, I want to say 4 to 5 minutes and a whole commercial break for the picture-in-picture. He looked great in the ring. He sold well. He got his ass beat for the whole 4 or 5 minutes he was in there. He got a really nice hot tag over to Uncle Dax. I loved how he cursed Colton, and then Bowens came in and he cursed Bowens, and then Bowens smashes Colton with his crutch. And I believe we just learned that Bowens is now good to go. He was walking with no crutches and no wheelchair, so that's a nice surprise there.
Yeah, I really love the finish of this match. I love that this is a great way for them to kind of show that Anthony Bowens is good to go.
Yeah.
It was also really cool that the heel thing didn't work.
Yeah, because of the cursing.
Yeah, and then again, the Gun Club are really mad after the match, and they're mad at Bowens and they're mad at Caster. It seems like the Gun Club and the Acclaimed are getting ready to split up, which we talked about. We thought that this pairing was really just to, give the Acclaim something to do while Bowens was on the mend. And yeah, so we get this tease of a breakup. Billy Gunn sides with the Acclaimed. He pushes Austin down, and
his own son.
This was super fucking intriguing for me, and I want to see more. I want to see the next step here. Like, is Billy just gonna stick with the Acclaimed? Is this the Acclaimed turning face because Billy's gonna like kind of turn on the Acclaimed separately? Like, I want to see where we go from here.
Yeah.
I think personally this is more so the Acclaimed turning face. I think we're gonna see Billy turn on Caster, and then these two teams will feud. And then the Acclaimed are going to start being considered a more top babyface in the division. I mean,
so here's what
here's
what I see actually happening. So I see Daddy Ass has sided with the Acclaimed because they embraced the ass. He was known as Mr. Ass, but Colton and Austin are refusing to embrace the Ass Boys thing. So that's why he is choosing the Acclaimed at the moment. They're embracing Mr. Ass. So I think this is going to lead to Colton and Austin actually finally embracing the Ass Boys, and they're going to use that song by, I think it's 12 Seconds to Midnight or something like that, 6 seconds, I forget their name, but that's the name of the band. They're like Danhausen's friends. I think they're actually going to use that song as their entrance because it looks like they used it at Forbidden Door, so it looks like they have the rights to it now. That's what I see happening.
Perhaps.
Oh, Midnight Express was my favorite tag team when I was like 6 years old, Juan. Oh, do I think FTR are bigger than them? Oh, that's crazy, dude. Because, yeah, when I was a kid, Midnight Express were like the shit. But right now, FTR, they have all the belts, man. They got them all. So I got to go with FTR. They got all the gold.
Almost all. They're not there yet. And Maduga, man, I love those two teams together. I don't want to see them splitting. It's like all acts in wrestling. I mean, eventually you can't do the same thing exactly forever. It's just kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it'll be okay though. I mean, again, both teams are going to retain what makes them them. So it'll be okay.
It's going to be great. When they finally embrace the ass, they're all going to come back together and everyone's going to scissor each other again. It's going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go that route. I think that they're going to split. I think they are splitting these two teams up.
We'll see. Maybe that leads to an Acclaimed versus Ass Boys feud now that Bowens is back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that the feud's going to start out where you think Billy's on the Acclaimed side, but then eventually Billy's going to turn on the Acclaimed and be like, they're my fucking kids. You know what I mean?
Not until they embrace the ass, though.
Yeah, I know. That's just what I see. What's up, Juggernaut?
What up, Juggernaut? Hey, if you guys don't know, Juggernaut is another YouTuber. You guys, if you want to, go ahead and go check him out as well. Throw him a subscribe. What's up, dude? How you doing, man? All right. So after this one, we got a promo with Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal. Basically, this was a promo for announcing Death Before Dishonor, the pay-per-view that's coming for Ring of Honor in July, I believe, right?
Yep, July 23rd in
July
Massachusetts.
23rd. Nice. All right. After that, we got our TBS championship match with Jade Cargill versus Layla Gray. I have to admit, I really enjoyed this entire segment from beginning to end. And that doesn't always happen with these Jade Cargill segments. But this was a really good showing by Jade in the ring. I thought this was a great aftermatch, run in by Statlander and Athena, because of course Jade said their name, so they got to come out. What did you think of this? What did you think?
I completely agree with you. I actually thought you were going to not like the segment. I actually was like, I feel like Jeff's gonna not like this.
I loved it beginning to end.
I'm pleasantly surprised to hear that you enjoyed this.
I'm a huge Statlander fan, and I've loved Athena since she was Ember Moon, so I'm all in.
Big T in the chat saying he's going. I think he's referring to Death Before Dishonor. Have a great time, man.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. That'd be really cool.
Yep. Thanks, Juggernaut. Appreciate that.
So, essentially, Statlander and Athena after a squash match here. So Jade squashes Layla Gray. Sorry not to give you any review on the match there, but it was 45 seconds to maybe a minute and a half of Jade squashed her, game over. And Statlander and Athena come out because Jade grabbed the mic and spoke their names. And of course, when you say someone's name in wrestling, they gotta show up. And it looked like they were going to give Jade the, man, I can't remember the name of Athena's finisher right now, but her over-the-shoulder stunner off the top rope. Statlander was holding on to Jade, and Athena was about to jump. And Layla Gray, who had just got squashed by Jade, pushes her off the top rope. And basically Excalibur explained to us that Stokely Hathaway whispered something in her ear, so she decided to try to help out Jade there. Seemed like a pretty good career move, if you ask me, right?
Yeah, definitely. I thought that this was a really cool segment, like we talked about. I like that they kind of, at first I was enjoying that they kind of gave Layla a little bit of something to work with.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of put her over before she, the whole joining the baddies thing happened, where even Stokely and Jade were like, at 11:49 last night, we put this contract out there, and Layla was the first person, Chris Statlander and Athena, you guys are just lazy. You're not underrated or overlooked. You're just lazy.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed how they put over Layla. Obviously, they end up she's not in yet, but it's safe to assume she's going to be in.
Yeah.
Stokely does whisper something to her, and so she goes and helps out. And I thought this was really cool because I was impressed with Layla Gray, and it seems like she's going to be sticking around. I mean, we'll see what happens. Yeah, man, this was a really good segment. Like you said, Athena and Chris Statlander come out, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And again, intriguing television. That's the words that's how I would describe tonight. Like, yes, we had an excellent main event, Blood and Guts. It was fucking awesome. But like every single thing going down this review, I'm just like, ooh, I can't wait to see what happens here next week with this, with that, like all of it.
Seriously.
Juan in the chat saying that he sees All Out as AEW's biggest pay-per-view. He's thinking Sasha debuts at All Out, whether it be against Jade or whoever has the AEW Women's Championship. That is if she doesn't have that 3-month non-compete compete.
So even if she does have it, that's 3 months later. The report now is June 10th was her release. So that would be 3 months.
All Out September 4th.
September 4th. It would be a few days, but I would actually tend to believe that she may not even have that. If her lawyers negotiated that release and they're not talking about it, she don't even have it.
So yeah, I was actually about to say that. I completely agree with you. I have a feeling the fact that all of this has been kept so quiet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sasha just got a lawyer involved and the lawyer's like, this is a joke of a contract.
Yeah.
And they just, right now, the Fed wants as little bad press as possible. They're trying to sweep all this other stuff under the rug.
Yep.
It's like I said on the episode we did when we first talked about all the Vince news. It's like, if you want to get out of the sinking ship, now's the time. You could probably get out. And I think Sasha capitalized on that. And I do think that she was granted her release. I don't think she's there anymore. And I do have a feeling that the compete may have been thrown out or altered or something. I mean, we don't know. If I recall in the past, they've said that the non-compete, you can break the non-compete and not get paid or something like that. I don't 100% recall if that's how it works, but I think I remember hearing about that at one point.
So from what I heard, some people have it where they can choose to not acknowledge it and you don't get the money. You don't get paid. So right. It's basically like you're getting paid to sit home, or you can, decide that you don't want that.
Right, but I would argue that Sasha clearly is not strictly about the money here.
And I'm pretty sure some lawyers have already said like that is not legal. Nobody's ever challenged it besides Brock Lesnar. And as soon as he challenged it, the WWE was like, all right, never mind. So
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I do believe that Sasha is no longer with them, and I do believe that she does not have a no compete. That's just my opinion. No. I have no sources. I have nothing like that. I just have a brain.
That would be really nice to see her debut at All Out and have CM Punk back as well. That'd be great.
I personally do think she will. I do view Double or Nothing as the biggest show of the year, but I also view All Out as the big debut show. Mm-hmm. I think that they always have big names debut at All Out. They like to do that, and it kind of leads through the winter months into Double or Nothing the following year. So Yeah.
I don't know why my brain is putting these two things together, but could you imagine Wyndham and Sasha debuting it All Out and her being with Wyndham in some capacity? I'd freak out.
So there's been a lot of speculation that the July 6th Dynamite is in Rochester, which is Brody Lee's hometown. So
And Wyndham
there's
6
some thought process
or
there.
Wyatt 6.
We've been texting quite a bit. I might as well go into my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. So the Dark Order, man, the Dark Order is not doing so great these days. Obviously Stu's gone. Alan Angels, his contract expires tomorrow, and then starting July 1st, he will be a free agent. It was reported that Tony Khan and AEW wanted to bring him back in as a per appearance type deal, like some of the wrestlers are. It's more so every time they get called in, they get paid, and they're not under contract to be paid regularly. They would have to be at TV to be used to get paid. Alan Angels decided. Oh, sorry, Jeff. I'm looking up at the stream and seeing you try to grab your championship. We've seen, or Alan Angels said that type of deal doesn't work for him, and he's looking forward to what's the future holds. He changed his profile picture to just a black profile. And so as of tomorrow's his last day under contract. And I was watching Elevation on Monday. Anna Jay was in action. She came out without her Dark Order gear on, and Excalibur pointed out that she's not in her Dark Order gear, and that it was very interesting. And we know that these things are said for a reason. They don't just say these little things for no reason. So I've been kind of theorizing that, I think we're going to be getting Wyndham soon. I think all of these Dark Order people are going to play into that. So Wyndham placed a trademark for Wyatt 6, right? And my theory, completely a theory, could be wrong, is that Wyatt 6 is the name of the faction. I think Wyatt 6 will be the name of the faction. And you could look at it like, as Wyndham joining what currently exists, or Wyndham taking what existed outside, or like what's not there anymore. Like you could have Wyndham. Maybe they've been waiting for this, so they have Stu sitting at home. Maybe Stu is actually re-signed. Maybe Alan Angels is re-signed. Anna Jay.
Crazy.
Like, I think what was the 6 that I texted you? It was like, what if the Wyatt 6 was this? And I think I said it was Wyndham, Bo Dallas, which is his brother.
Yep.
Anna Jay. Alan Angels, Stu Grayson, and there was a 6th guy that I texted you. I don't remember. What did I text you?
I'll see what you said.
Yeah, go ahead and text. Look at the text, because I said 6, and that would be the Wyatt 6. Obviously, this is just theorizing. This is just me fantasy booking, but I don't know.
Redbeard.
Oh, right, Eric Redbeard. Well, because so AEW's brought him in on a few appearances, and they've brought him back. So it's like they don't dislike working with him.
No, he's good. He's great. I like that guy.
Yeah, so I could just see that happening in Rochester. There's not, but the only argument against it is that there's not a lot of build to it. I mean, unless Wyndham were to come out and just be like, my brother built this Dark Order and they fucking suck. Like, join me, Dark Order. And like, obviously Uno's like, no, this is not what Brody would have wanted. And like, so you have like Brody, Penn, Silver, and Reynolds, and they're kind of like, no, screw you, Wyndham. And then everyone else comes out like, and they're like, no, we side with Wyndham on this. Like, Brody would have wanted us to take over AEW.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like you have these two clashes. And again, this is just fantasy booking. I'm just a fan who thinks up really cool shit that Tony Khan could do. I don't know if it's true. I don't think I do feel better now that I don't think Wyndham is going to WWE. The fact that he trademarked Wyatt 6 tells me that he's not going to WWE. Yeah. I think he would want to own his trademark and stuff like that. I don't think WWE would be okay with him coming back and then not owning his shit.
He wouldn't have needed to trademark the name Wyatt. They already own the whole Wyatt thing. So yeah, when you pointed that out, that's a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I'm looking at it. And again, Wyndham wants big money, and I do believe he wants big money, and I think he's worth big money. So in terms of who could pay him, there's only 2 in my mind. That's the Fed and Tony Khan.
There's no question. Pay the man. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I do think Wyndham is coming to AEW. I don't know when. Again, I think All Out is the easy, safe bet. But again, man, that July 6th show, which is next week, You know, I think, right? The 4th, the 5th. Yeah, that's next week. It's in Rochester, New York, which is Brody's hometown. And I think it's a really weird thing for them to let Allen Angels go right before they go to Brody's hometown, because last time they were in Rochester, they made a big deal about Brody.
Yeah.
I
That'd be
don't know.
crazy.
Like, if I were, like, I don't see why TK wouldn't be like, hey, can we just extend you for a week? Like,
And
I don't know.
and
I
Wyndham
just think
6th, July 6th, like that's a little bit of a thing. It could be, never know.
yeah, man, I don't know. Again, it's just fantasy booking. I would say feel free to get excited if you want. This is just the way I live my life. I set myself up to be disappointed from time to time. It's just the nature of who I am as a person. If I was in charge of these things, I would be the best ever, because I would have all these great ideas.
Right.
They don't all. Sometimes they happen. I will say that sometimes I call it, but I'm not always right, unfortunately.
All right, let's get back on track here. So next up on Dynamite, we had a promo from the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks are sad because they have no friends left in AEW right now. Everybody's injured or gone, and they have no friends except for their belts.
You know what they need? They need some best friends.
They do. They need some friends. Their best friends.
Yeah, man, this was like a super sad promo. Like, I think it was kind of the intention, but if it wasn't, that's how I felt. They were like, all our friends are hurt. Like, all our friends are gone. And like, you're sitting there thinking about it, like, yeah, man, Kenny's gone, Cody's gone, Cole is gone, Red Dragon's gone, Adam Page is like, he's still there, but they're not friends anymore. Like, I felt really bad, and they were like, even Brandon's not here.
Yeah.
It's some dude named intern named
Fred.
Eric.
It was like Frank or Ed or Fred.
But yeah, whatever it was. But which I don't even know if that's true. I think Brandon was there. It was just more so just them getting the point across. But again, man, yeah, it's like that. Like, really was like a sympathy thing. I was like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the whole point of it was like, we're still the champs, so we don't need anything else. But I'm just sitting here like, oh, they're friends.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, oh, I'm sad too now. But so they announced that they are going to have a championship contenders match with Goto and Yoshihashi. And I think I've made fun of these championship contenders matches for a while now in the E. And now that we're getting one here, I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this. Basically, they said it's not for the title. You have to beat us first to prove that you're worthy of the title. And I wanted to punch myself in the head. I hate those matches.
Well, no, it's an eliminator match. AEW's done it before.
Well, what do you mean by eliminator match?
So the terminology that Tony Khan's used in the patches, this is what's called an eliminator match, where it's like you win, you get a title shot. You don't win, sucks to suck. I think that in this situation, it's a totally acceptable thing to do. This is a team that has no rankings in the AEW tag team division, so why would they get a title shot? But if you beat the champs, no matter what, like this is a thing that WWE does, but they do it wrong. Like, it's not the fact that they're doing it that's the problem, it's the fact that they do it wrong that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, if an outside of AEW tag team comes through the forbidden door and beats the tag team champions, they should absolutely get a tag team title shot.
Yes. So, like, after I kind of contemplated this a little bit, I was like, I agree with this because they're guys coming from Japan. So, like, yeah, you have to try to beat us first before you get a title shot. Like, I actually agreed with it in this aspect. But right when they said it, I was like, championship contenders match. I was like, no. But then I kind of, I adjusted to it.
But again, AEW has done this in the past, like, a little bit. It's not the biggest deal in the world if you do it right. I recall Kenny Omega had a match with Matt Sydal where it was like that, where it was like when Kenny Omega was the world champion. I think it was on Dark. It was like one of the biggest things that Dark ever did, where they were like, it was Kenny versus Matt Sydal, and like Tony Khan even came out and he's like, you screwed him out of this match, so you still have to defend the title against him next week on Dynamite.
Okay, and wasn't it Kenny versus Danielson non-title as well? The first
that was
one
non-title. Yeah, that was non-title, but that was never billed as like an eliminator match. They just didn't want to. They just didn't want it to feel predictable. Like, they just didn't want the title involved at all. So
Yeah.
they took the title out of that match, the Kenny Danielson match.
Okay. But that wasn't like you'll get a shot if you win or anything. Okay.
Right. So, you know.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But after this, they announced the Royal Rampage coming up on Friday. I really, really enjoy the idea behind this, man. As soon as I saw the name, I was like, yep, love it. Give it to me.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So for those that don't know, the Royal Rampage is a battle royal. It is the way to book 2 rings on Rampage, even though they're on the same night. It's a way of you're like, oh, it's a different night, but they need 2 rings, so they kept the 2 rings up. Where so basically it's 20 guys, 10 and 10, 10 in each ring, and then I think they said that a new wrestler comes out every minute. Every 60 seconds, a new wrestler comes out.
Oh, wow.
And it's over the top battle royal. So, and then the winner of that match will get a title shot against the interim champion Jon Moxley.
Okay. Juan C says, do you guys see the Young Bucks versus FTR at All Out? Maybe have all 4 titles on the line. I do see that match happening, but I have a feeling that AAA wants their titles back. The Lucha Brothers have been tweeting out that they're the best tag team in the world and something about, championships. So I believe AAA wants to put those belts back on the Lucha Brothers. But we'll see what happens with that. But I do believe we're going to see Young Bucks FTR at All Out one way or another.
I actually think that match that you're talking about, Lucha Bros versus FTR, I think it's going to happen for the AAA titles on AEW TV. It's going to be a way of killing some time. Again, we are still we're 2 months out from All Out.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to kind of kill a little bit more time before they start feuding with the Bucks. I do think it's going to be the Bucks versus FTR. I think it's going to be all titles on the line. Who wins? I don't know. I think that the safe argument is you just have FTR go over.
You could have the Bucks. You could have the Bucks cost FTR those AAA titles too.
I think the year that they're having, I think you kind of have to give FTR the AEW tag titles and let them complete this belt collector thing. But at the same time, I think you could also make the argument that FTR and the Bucks are tied 1-1. Maybe the Bucks do go over here in the rubber match. I don't know. I still consider the Young Bucks to be the greatest tag team of all time. No offense to FTR. I think they're the best tag team this year. But I still would give Bucks the nod all time.
Did you see Dax's tweet? Said maybe we're the best of all time. Oos. He even said oos.
Yep.
I was like, Dax has balls of steel. Oh, I love FTR so much.
Absolutely. I don't understand how anybody could look at any tag team in WWE and just be like, oh yeah, that's a better tag team than FTR or the Young Bucks. Like, no way.
When I see people say the Usos are number one,
argument about
I'm like, they're not even number 2 anymore.
Tag team of all time.
Yeah.
I just don't want to hear it.
No.
I just don't want to hear it. It's just...
People try to say the Usos are number 1, and I'm like, dude, they're not even number 2. Calm down. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, I think that they're a great tag team, but like they haven't done anything their entire run. Like, it's just bad booking. Like, okay, like I don't know. I'm just not impressed by them or their matches.
They hold both tag belts, the Raw and SmackDown, and they lose their singles matches. Like,
this is bad booking.
But crap, FTR loses their singles matches too. At least
sometimes, but not all the time.
Not all the time, not as much as the Usos, but yeah, it's.
But again, I think the other problem is that you don't always need the tag team champions to be in singles matches.
Have and that's right.
Tag team competition.
The Usos.
That's the problem.
The Usos are losing to lame people like The Miz, the freaking, FTR are losing to people like CM Punk, so it's okay. Like,
right. And I agree with Juan. Like, Juan's love for tag team wrestling has been revived because of FTR. Yeah, I mean, again, FTR and the Young Bucks. Going into AEW, I would say that like AEW's biggest strength, like honestly, its absolute biggest strength is the strength of its tag team division.
Oh,
like, their single stars are phenomenal and they have excellent singles matches. But like, tag team wrestling exists in AEW, and it's hard to imagine tag team wrestling anywhere else.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Just facts.
All right, so next, we got JR showing up to come out for Blood and Guts. I kind of like the way, if they're going to do this in the future, just bring JR out for the main event or for the last hour, possibly, something like that. It makes it feel a little more special for JR to be out there. I like it.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring this up to you and see how you felt about it. I think it's interesting I wonder if this is just them kind of starting to wind JR down. I know that he signed an
Yeah.
extension recently. I think he's going to be with us in AEW for at least another, I think 16 months is currently the timetable. Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely agree with you. It definitely adds a level of importance to a match, and I think it's
Mhm.
also like Taz and Excalibur and Tony Schiavone is a really good announce booth.
It is.
Like they're a really really good announce team. I love watching AEW Dark. Sometimes the matches are just kind of filler, but like the conversations and just the dialogue and the chemistry that Taz and Excalibur have, like for me, Taz and Excalibur are the commentary team of the future. I think these are the guys like because Shivani's not exactly a young guy either. Like I could see Excalibur and Taz being the commentators in AEW for like easily another like 10, 20 years if they stick around. Whereas,
Yeah.
Shivani's getting older too. Like Shivani and JR drop, they step down, they retire. I don't see why, you know what I mean? Like I think Excalibur, Taz, and even Shivani are a great three-man team you can have. And then you bring JR out for all the main events. I mean, it works. And then JR is going to be on Rampage too this Friday, which that could also be a nice little change to have JR on Rampage. So maybe they do that where they just have
Yeah.
him come out for the Dynamite main event and have him do Rampage.
That's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. He could stay out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember FTR and Randy Orton were a team for a whole week? Probably not watching then. Nope, I don't remember that at all.
I remember reading it. I wasn't watching at that point, but I think that they've always kind of gone back and forth on Twitter, like teasing each other here and there. So good for them. I mean, I
Yeah.
think they enjoyed working with Randy Orton based off like the vibe that they give off when they kind of tweet each other. So,
Yeah. And
but no,
Mia
I
just
wasn't
says New
watching.
Day is greater than the Usos. 100% agree. And I don't care which three it is mixed together. All three of them, no matter who it, any combination of the three was better than the Usos.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. So next up was a really good video package for this Blood and Guts match. Got us all hyped up. The Jericho Appreciation Society comes out first in god awful red outfits. Oh my god.
I wrote
Um,
I wrote what the fuck are they wearing?
well, they were all wearing what appeared to be red leather pants or pleather or shiny, whatever you want to call it, but it was red shiny pants, um, and a bright red fedora. Um,
How good are your notes for this Blood and Guts match?
I think I have like 3 pages for this match, dude.
Okay, because I also have 3 pages, so
It's
I
crazy
can
how
do
I,
it.
I took more notes for this match than I think any match I've ever watched.
I agree. I think just the nature of the match and the spots, and then there was like a second to breathe, so I wrote
Yeah.
it down.
Yep.
But okay then. I was willing to take charge if you didn't write a lot, but I wrote because I wrote a lot. So
No, yeah, go ahead whenever you want here, but we start with Claudio and Sammy in the ring. That is not who I thought we were going to start off with. Claudio just destroyed Sammy to start. No sold Sammy's chops. Destroyed him with some of his own chops. This was brutal.
yeah, and this crowd was fucking hype. Like
Oh my
I was
god,
hyped
yeah.
too. Like again, like the presentation of this show was just phenomenal. It was excellent, and the crowd really helped here because it was just I was so down for this match. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this match, I I don't even know how to like describe most of what happened in here because it was a lot of chaos going on. But um, within like 30 seconds, JR said Sammy's already been in 5 car accidents, and I laughed my ass off to that one
Yeah.
because Claudio beat the shit out of Sammy for a good 3 minutes in this.
Well, I
Um,
really enjoyed how Claudio was kind of throwing Sammy around, and then Sammy starts trying to get away from him, and so Sammy jumps up on the rope and goes to springboard. And you think he's going to bounce back on Claudio, but instead he was on one side, and then he jumped to the other side of the rope, and then he jumped to the other ring, and then he jumped to the other side of the other ring. And I was like, that was really well done. That was really cool.
yeah, Big T. I think I actually said that as I was watching. I was like, "Gay," but
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
no, yeah, you know. Did I prefer Anarchy in the Arena or Blood and Guts? So I'm actually gonna be honest. I preferred Blood and Guts because I could see a lot more of what was going on. But I do think Anarchy in the Arena was a better match, if that makes any sense. like as the spectator, I enjoyed watching this one more, but I do think Anarchy in the Arena was a better match overall.
That's a great question. I think they were both really excellent. I think Anarchy in the Arena, I think would just barely etch it out for me. Like I think I would still say that was better, but not by much. They were both excellent.
Yeah, I'm the same right there.
Yeah.
So first one to enter after Claudio and Sammy is Daniel Garcia, who was wearing a do-rag, by the way. What?
Yeah, he's been wearing that. Yeah, I think
but okay. So he comes in and he helps out for a little while. He stops Claudio from doing the swing. After the commercial break, Yuta comes in and destroys Garcia and Sammy. Wheeler Yuta came in like a freaking monster and just started beating the shit out of everybody.
6 Germans.
Yeah, 6 Germans. That was nuts.
And just the Yuta chants were so strong. And again, this guy is just such a star. There were like other things that Yuta did. I mean, obviously everyone in this match did phenomenal, but there were little things that I really liked that Yuta did in this match.
Yeah, Wheeler Yuta is just absolutely incredible. If you've never watched our Broken Table of the Week with Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley, please go watch that video. It's our most viewed video. It's got like 5,000 views. It's amazing. But I love Wheeler Yuta. Through this entire thing, I was just watching him. Like every chance I could, I was looking for Wheeler Yuta, man. I can't wait for the future of this kid. It's going to be great. I did get to see him in Chicago, by the way. I ran into him inside a store. It was pretty cool. Next up after Wheeler Yuta was Jake Hager, who entered and he just started annihilating everybody.
Well, so I really appreciated the history being respected between Claudio and Jake Hager. And again, it's something that I've always respected and really appreciate AEW for is they will not be afraid to admit that WWE is a thing and that these guys had history in the Fed. And I really loved it. I think the crowd really appreciated it. They were chanting "We the People."
That's what they were. I couldn't figure out what they were saying. That was what it was. "We the People." There we go.
So back in the Fed, there was a tag team, and it was Jake Hager. So Jake Hager was doing this "We the People" character with Dutch Mantel as his manager, and at the time it was viewed as very extreme political character. It's very current events now. They were a little ahead of the curve on that one. But so eventually Cesaro joins that team. So they were a tag team, Cesaro and Jake Hager.
That's right. Yeah.
And they were like they did the "We the People." They put their hands over like to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and they were like "We the People," and really cool tag team. I think they ended up turning babyface at the end of their run. But yeah they were cool. So the fact that AEW knew that they had history, the crowd appreciated it. I really appreciated it. And it was awesome because then they started just going at it.
Yeah, this was insane. And next in came Mox, and the fucking crowd just exploded when Mox came in. Mox came in with a chair, and just first thing he did is he just threw the chair straight into Jake Hager's face. I was like, oh man, he for sure just split Hager open with that, but I don't think it wound up getting any color off of Hager for that one.
But I'll tell you what did get color was afterwards, Moxley has Daniel Garcia, and he's kind of scraping his face across the cage, and then he pulled out a fork. I'm like, okay. And he just starts stabbing Garcia in the face, in the forehead, with this fork. At which case, Daniel Garcia obviously begins bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, Moxley I think he's got a thing for forks now. I think I've seen him use a fork 3 or 4 times. After the fork incident, Angelo Parker is the one to come in next, and immediately he jumps in the ring like he's going to do something, and then he realizes that everybody from Blackpool Combat Club is standing there waiting for him. Crowd starts chanting, "You effed up, you effed up."
So before Angelo gets in there, I think it's really funny. It's really awesome. So it's the Blackpool Combat Club specifically in the ring at this point. It's Mox, Yuta, and Claudio, and they take care of business, and everyone's just knocked out, and they're just kind of standing there like, well, what do we do now?
Yeah.
And like Claudio started doing like push-ups, and like Mox and Yuta started like doing like a handshake or something like that, and it was really funny.
Yeah, Mox was like stretching. He was like stretching his legs.
Yeah, because it's like, well, we knocked them all out, and the match can't end, so we just gotta wait until Cool Hands Ange comes out.
So
and yeah, he was running.
That was
I
really
also
impressive.
appreciated,
The way
sorry.
Angelo was diving through all the ropes, running away from them, that was actually really
Yeah.
impressive. I was like, that's really cool.
And so shout out to a line that JR has not used in years, and even Taz pointed out. JR said he was running like a scolded dog, and I was like,
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
we got him. And
Yeah, that
Taz
was
was
a
like,
good
I've been
one.
waiting for years for you to say that.
All right, so after Angelo came in, Ortiz come in's next. Ortiz just came in just running around like a maniac. That dude is I don't know how much caffeine that guy drinks before he gets in the ring, but he's like a squirrel that drank a cup of coffee, man. He's flying around.
Yeah. So
Coffee. I don't
the
drink coffee.
other, so we go through this commercial break, and the one spot that I wish that wasn't on commercial break. They come back, and so Moxley broke a bunch of glass, and they placed it in the ring, and he pile drived. I think it
Angelo.
was it was Angelo. Mox does a pile driver on the broken glass onto Angelo. Of course, he's busted open.
Yep.
That was a gnarly looking spot.
Yeah, they showed the replay of the pile driver, I think, and yeah, a pile driver on some glass, man. Ugh, that's nasty.
Yep, and then like you said, Ortiz enters, and then afterwards Matt Menard enters. At this point, Angelo and Mox are both bleeding. I noticed.
Did JR say Cesaro? I didn't hear it. I didn't catch it. He might have.
Really? I never heard him.
Yeah,
say
I didn't
Cesaro.
catch it, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible, but I definitely didn't hear it.
So I do want to say right after the Mox pile driver, the crowd started chanting, "We want tables." So thank you to Detroit for the shout out to the podcast. You guys are awesome out there. Santana and Eddie Kingston apparently heard the crowd asking for the tables. So when it was Santana's turn to jump in the ring, they slid a table into the ring with him. Thank you very much, Eddie. And let's see what happened here. And he also brought a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Did he even use that? I don't think I got to see him use it.
So he didn't use it, but he got used a few times in the match, including Mox had Matt Menard stole it from someone, and he was choking Mox with the barbed wire baseball bat. But I think when Santana came in, he hit someone with the bat.
Okay. And at this point is when you kind of realized, holy crap, there's blood everywhere. There was just blood all over both mats, all over everybody's arms and faces, and if you were on the DraftKings thing for how many people were bleeding, I think it was like +6 or 7 here. So
I believe so. I think almost everyone except for I think Hager, Jericho, Kingston, and Claudio. I think everyone else is bleeding.
Yeah. So at this point, Mox grabs a bunch of skewers from his pocket, and I mean skewers like that you would put on the barbecue, like little wooden sticks, and he shoves them into Daddy Magic's forehead and smashes them in there. Oh, that was nasty, man. I've seen guys in Japan use those, and they actually stick in the person's head, and they like stay there.
Yeah. So a spot that you missed that I liked was before that happens, Angelo is fighting Wheeler, and Angelo takes the cameraman who's in the cage and throws the cameraman into Yuta.
That was
good.
I
thought that was really cool because of where they were. The cameraman was able to stay up because he bounced off the cage, but like it was really a really interesting usage of the cameraman, and props to them for letting the cameraman like stay standing.
Yeah, I agree. That was nice. I liked it. So I do believe here is where Wheeler and Garcia were in between the two rings, where there's that little gap in between the two rings, and they just started slapping each other as hard as they could, and it had to go on for 15-20 seconds. Like that was insanity. The crowd was just going ballistic at this point. And I do believe Eddie Kingston picks up the table. Or wait, did we announce Eddie comes into the ring yet? I don't believe we did. So
not yet. So Jericho enters.
Yeah, Jericho enters the ring first. That's right.
And then Eddie enters with the kendo stick.
Yes.
They come back from commercial break. Eddie enters. Eddie basically just canes the shit out of everybody. He's going ham, swinging for the fences. Eddie Kingston tries to grab some oil, some alcohol. He really wants to set Jericho on fire.
Yeah.
Ty ends up giving the bottle of alcohol back to Jericho because it gets taken out of the ring. And so I wanted to kind of touch on this, but I think that this was finally a great usage of the Ty Conti, Sammy Guevara story. I thought it was just so well done, from like the obnoxious stuff of like them kissing through the cage and like
Yeah.
her just like screaming when Sammy's in trouble, like help him, help him. And just I thought it was perfect, including what comes later. But yeah, I thought props to Ty Conti tonight because it was very good with the match. It flowed very well.
Yeah, I agree on that actually. So Eddie Kingston sets up the table and he puts Jake Hager through the table. And that would be our first possibility for Broken Table of the Week. But coming up shortly after, I think another spot takes that Broken Table of the Week away from Mr. Hager there. So
yeah,
we do want to say
with you on that.
Do want to say thank you to Eddie Kingston for his shout out to the podcast, but unfortunately he may not win the Broken Table of the Week here. Mox and Wheeler bring in a couple of bags of thumbtacks, and you know me and thumbtacks, man. I cringe every single time I see those thumbtacks.
And you know me and thumbtacks, I'm just like, let's go.
And I don't know if you saw, or you had to have seen it. It was like a scene out of The Predator. Angelo Parker hanging from the outside of the cage,
Yes.
upside down, covered in blood from head to toe, and there was blood pouring off of his hair. It looked like a scene out of The Predator, man. It was one of my favorite moments of this entire night.
Initial reaction, my initial thought to this, right, was like, how the fuck did he get outside of the ring?
Same.
Because the doors were locked at this point. We had not gotten to the point of the match where the doors were opened. So, like, was there a hole on top of the cage and he tried to climb out? Like, what exactly happened here? But, like, yeah, that was the exact spot that they wanted. And it looked perfect. It looked great.
I screenshotted it.
Down, bloodied to a pulp. Like, shout out to TK and everyone in the back in the TV truck. They fucking nailed that shot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ange. Shout out to everybody involved. Like, that's the kind of shot, like, when they're doing the promo, like, the commercials for Blood and Guts for the years coming, like, for the next one and the one after that and the one after that, you are going to see that shot 100 times. And it's excellent.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely excellent.
As soon as this is over, that's the thumbnail for the video.
Yeah, definitely. But so let's see, where are we here? So at this point, like you said, Mox gives Yuta the thumbtacks. Yuta spreads it out. Meanwhile, in the other ring, the canvas is getting ripped up because they really like doing that with these Blood and Guts matches. Yeah, Purple, that's in my notes. I really liked how many thumbtacks Yuta had in his back. It was a redonkulous amount of thumbtacks in his back. So let's see. Yeah, so like you said, Angelo hanging upside down. They go to commercial break. They come back. We come back from break. Jericho is dragging Mox through the thumbtacks, puts him in the walls of Jericho on top of the thumbtacks. Eddie Kingston kind of jumps in, breaks it up by grabbing a snowball made of thumbtacks, throws it in Mox's or Jericho's face. I could see Jeffrey screaming on the pod on the stream. Yeah, man, a lot of thumbtacks here, and then Jericho goes to retreat, and he uses the fire extinguisher on Eddie Kingston. I don't know how they got that into the ring either. They must have had it like under the apron or something, and he had to like lean down. So at this point, again, Ty Conti, who killed it tonight, attacks a referee. I believe it was Aubrey.
It was Aubrey, man. I was like, she just attacked Aubrey. No.
Yeah, that was why I said like instant heat. You could hear it in the crowd. Like, what a heel move to attack one of the most. In my opinion, there's two referees that are beloved in AEW, and that's Aubrey Edwards and Bryce Remsburg.
Yep.
If you fuck with either of those two, instant heat, like nuclear heat.
Nuclear
heat. And so Ty knocks her out, grabs the key, opens the cage. At this point, Ruby Soho comes out, which is also like intriguing television. We're gonna get Ruby versus Ty in a feud, you would have to assume, which is awesome. Like, I want to see Ty get back in the ring and wrestle because she's a great wrestler, and she should be more than just Sammy's piece.
Yeah.
As they
And
would
for
say.
anybody wondering why Ruby Soho came out, she is huge friends with Eddie Kingston. So
Yep, and that's kayfabe and real life.
So-
and then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so I was very surprised that she took out Aubrey. I don't think I've ever seen Aubrey take a bump before, and the crowd reacted big time. Like, the crowd was like, "Oh!" when it happened. So it definitely was the spot that they were looking for, and it paid off big time.
Again, man, this was perfect. And so while I have eased up on my opinions of Forbidden Door, for those that missed the start of the show, I was very critical of Forbidden Door's booking and stuff like that on Sunday. As the days have gone on, I've kind of eased up on it, and I've definitely sweetened up to the way the show was booked in the second half. And I understand it and I accept it. And it was an excellent pay-per-view.
Nice.
But like, this was the show I wanted to see right after Forbidden Door. Like, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see us get back on track, get back to focusing on AEW and just AEW alone, and like let's just do it. Let's just fucking go. And that's what this was.
Well, we went. Yeah, we went.
We went. We sure did.
So-
So at this point, Jericho climbs up the cage. Eddie's following him up. They start fighting. Sammy Guevara climbs up. And so they fight a little bit more, and then Eddie Kingston throws Sammy Guevara off the cage through
the timekeeper's
bunch of
table.
tables. Yeah,
Broken table of the week.
broken table of the week, absolutely, hands down.
And the way he stood up there and was laughing, I had flashbacks of the Undertaker throwing Mankind off of the Hell in a Cell.
I did the same too.
They had to have been going for that, because
I think I saw Juan in the chat earlier said the same thing.
Yep, Juan
I don't
said
want
the
to
same
comment because
thing.
I knew we were gonna get here. But yeah, man, that's such a great spot. And you know what? Kudos to them for righting the wrong, because they tried to do this spot last year with MJF and Jericho, and it didn't work because of the camera angles. This time they did a much better job. It looked a lot better than it did. And it was excellent. I thought Sammy sold it really well. The way he kind of just fell, like Eddie didn't even really throw him. Eddie was just like, "Here you go," pushed him.
Sammy's eyes were twitching inside of his skull while he was laying there. It was great.
Yeah, so that was excellent. Sammy Guevara is a very popular. He's won multiple broken tables of the week here on the podcast, and this is just another trophy in his trophy cabinet.
Yeah, that's Sammy's second broken table of the week. So congratulations, Sammy. Thank you for the shout out to Eddie Kingston again.
Appreciate it.
Oh, that's two.
So
I didn't even realize that. Eddie put two people through tables tonight. Thank you very much, Eddie. We love you. We love you.
Yeah, Maduga saying the bottle of water landed perfectly on him. Yes, it absolutely did.
Yeah.
It like flipped in the air and landed on him.
They do that on purpose. Go watch the Wheeler Yuta broken table of the week too. The bottle flips up in the air, lands right on him. It's great. They do it on purpose. They have to.
Well, I mean, I think it's just physics. The timekeepers leave their water bottles on the table, and it's just there. So yeah, so we go back up to the top of the cage. Jericho puts the walls on Kingston. Claudio shows up, breaks up the walls, and then he does the swing on top of the cage. And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I would. The whole time that everybody was up there, man, I had anxiety like crazy, because like it was like I was up there, man. Like, I don't know. It was. I always get anxiety when people go up on top of those cages.
Well, yeah, it's scary, but there's a difference between two guys punching each other up there and Jericho being swung. All it takes is for Claudio to like accidentally loosen his grip, and Jericho goes flying off the cage. Like, it was wild.
Yeah, it was. It was crazy. That was trust right there. I'll tell you that much. Jericho definitely trusts Claudio.
Yeah, definitely. So Menard climbs up at this point too. Eddie puts Jericho in his submission hold, and Claudio puts Menard in the sharpshooter, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so Eddie wants to punish Jericho, and he wants Jericho to tap out. Instead, Menard taps out. So the match ends. Eddie Kingston is trying to figure out why the match ended, because Jericho didn't tap yet. He realizes that Claudio is the one that picked up the win. He wasn't mad about it, but he was definitely upset about it.
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to lead to another match between Jericho and Kingston. I think they're going to go one more match. I would assume it's going to be some sort of gimmick match. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a steel cage where it's just the two of them. But I think they're going to try to do something where they have like a blow off match where it's like everyone's banned from ringside or something like that.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about something that I caught after the match that I'm not sure everybody saw, but the camera went to Eddie's face when Claudio was talking to him, and I can read lips really well. And
I know where you're going with this.
Eddie said to Claudio, "I can't get up. My back. I don't know what happened, but I'm okay." And he just sat there. And
Yeah,
I think
read
that was
too.
real because they weren't meaning to catch that. You know, I just happened to read his lips, and he said, "I can't get up. My back." Like that. He looked like what happened to me when I threw my back out in roofing when I was doing roofing. So he probably just threw his back out or strained his lower back or something. But
Yeah,
that concerned me a lot when I saw him say that.
I don't think it's anything too serious. He didn't seem like he was really in pain. I think he just kind of pulled his back and didn't want to move at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I did pick up on that too, but I don't think it was anything too bad. Juan in the chat saying, "How the heck does this feud end? Or has the feud already ended? Considering they've already done an Anarchy in the Arena and a match and a Blood and Guts match." I do think they do one more match. I think
It's
it's a
gonna have to
singles
do with
match.
fire.
A what?
I think they have some sort of a match that has to do with fire, like a Ring of Fire match or something.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I think they're going to do something. I think, you know what? This is just an idea. They've only done one of these matches before, and I don't know if they'd want to do another one again because of different day and age.
Mm-hmm.
But man, maybe they have Jericho and Kingston do like a parking lot brawl match.
Yeah, like a
I
real
think
street
that
fight.
could be a really cool way to kind of end this feud, where it's like meet me in the streets, meet me in the parking lot, and we'll settle
Yeah,
it like then. And like that way you could probably maybe they say come alone, and they both hold each other to it, or maybe they do get people involved. I don't know, but I do think we get one more match. I don't think it's going to be well. So also, for those that don't watch Dark, Daniel Garcia attacked Wheeler Yuta last night on Dark,
mm-hmm.
and he also said that he was going to be taking his pure championship away from him. So the feud is straight up not ending yet because now you're going to get Yuta and Garcia feuding. But like I think in terms of this big like overall gang war, I do think you're going to see a blow off match or two or three. I think Mox is going to move on to defending his title. I think Yuta's going to go on to defending his title. Claudio's there. Claudio's probably going to feud with somebody. Juan suggesting maybe they announce a new kind of match.
Yeah.
That could happen too. We'll see. But yeah, I do think we do one more match. I don't think this feud is over yet. I don't know if it goes till All Out, but I think they definitely do one more match, and I think Eddie wins that match.
And they could also go with the whole Eddie Claudio thing to separate them. You know what I mean? I know it doesn't seem like it's done, but Eddie could kind of go after Claudio, like, you cost me tapping out Jericho. I was gonna tap him out, but we'll see.
Keep in mind that Eddie Kingston's not a member of the Blackpool Combat Club. They're just there to back him up.
Yeah.
So there's not really a split up to be had necessarily. They're just going to go their separate ways.
No, I didn't mean like split up, but like Eddie and Claudio have history, and they've been definitely making it a point to talk about it. So I'm just saying that's how we could get away from Eddie versus Jericho again soon. But yeah, so the Blackpool Combat Club wins, and as they're all standing on top of the cage celebrating, you got a pretty decent shot of Wheeler Yuta's back. Absolutely covered in thumbtacks, man. Oh my god.
It looked great.
I can't imagine. I've stepped on a thumbtack and fell down crying. I can't imagine landing in a pile of them, dude.
Yeah, it was it was definitely something else. It was his back looked crazy. He had so many tacks in his back.
I mean, just about everybody had that many tacks, but it's just
no.
ugh.
Yuta had more than any
Yeah.
of them. I didn't see any of the guys have that many tacks in their skin than Yuta did.
John Moxley was picking them out throughout the match randomly on his legs. He was just like, just picking them out and throwing them. It was funny.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, Blood and Guts, man, absolutely excellent episode of Dynamite. Another all-timer. I'll give this entire episode a 5 out of 5. I don't think there was a single thing that I did not enjoy on this episode tonight. What'd you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought this was a 5 out of 5 show. This is an excellent show. Really excited for the next week. I do have the Rampage lineup, and then we have one match announced for Dynamite next week.
All right, go ahead with what we got going on
All right,
Rampage.
So, Rampage, we have the Young Bucks versus Haruki, Goto, and Yoshihashi. Again, this is an eliminator match where if Yoshihashi and Goto win, the Young Bucks will defend their titles against them at some point in the future. We have Nyla Rose versus Toni Storm. And we have the Royal Rampage 20-man Battle Royal. Winner goes on to face Moxley for the interim championship somewhere down the line.
Nice. I can't wait for that Royal Rampage. That's going to be awesome.
Yep. And then announced for Dynamite next week, we have TNT title, Scorpio Sky versus Wardlow in a street fight.
That's going to be interesting, man. I hope it doesn't end with the entire American Top Team coming after Wardlow and costing him the match, because it just feels predictable. Even though it'll probably be entertaining, I just don't want it to be that predictable, you know?
My problem is that I think they kind of have to do that because I don't think it's fair to Scorpio to lose the belt again so quickly.
No, yeah, I agree. Do you think Mox would be more hardcore than New Jack if he was in ECW during the late 90s?
Well, I mean, considering Mox was in GCW, probably.
Yeah. Now, I think
GCW? I'm sorry, CZW, not GCW.
Do I think Mox's forehead would be scarred up like New Jack's? No. But do I think he would be doing some of the same stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's really just, it differs. I mean, also Mox has a kid, so that also that also makes a difference.
See, for me though, like people, I might get roasted for this, but New Jack's not on Mox's level of like worldwide professional wrestler. New Jack was like the niche of ECW. Like he was awesome, but he's not on the level of Mox. You know what I mean? So
I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I do. I do agree with that take.
Yeah, he's on another level of hardcore. Absolutely. Like New Jack was amazing, but
sure.
Yeah. I think the word you used earlier tonight was perfect. The echelon, you know, he's in a different echelon than Moxley is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll work into the tier list we do, you know, one day.
Yeah, we gotta do that soon.
Yeah, I actually still have the thumbnail made. We gotta do that. All right. So do we have anything set up for Dynamite next week already?
Like I said, just Scorpio and Wardlow.
Scorpio and Wardlow, that's the only thing we got so far. Okay.
Yep, it's only one match announced. We'll probably get more on Friday. Again, it's in Rochester, so
that's a great point, man. On the 6th, on Purpleness's birthday.
Oof. So I'll say this, right? Like, since AEW, the inception of AEW, I would always pick at these pay-per-views where I would talk to friends before we're doing the podcast. I would sit there and I would say, I think CM Punk's coming out tonight. I think this is the time, right? And like eventually it happened. So I'm gonna keep sitting here and I'm gonna keep saying, I don't know. I think Wyndham's coming out. Like, if it doesn't happen next week, then All Out would be my next guess. There's also that special show, Rage on the Lake, or Quake on the Lake, in August, or no, July. It's the end of July, I think. That would be the next time I would see it maybe being a possibility. But, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. I got work early in the morning. Boss is asking me to clock in early. So go ahead and close us out tonight if you ain't got nothing else.
So before we do that,
all right,
I will do that. But so moving forward, I think at the end of every podcast, I think it would be appropriate if you announce that I was still the Broken Predictions champion. Because at the end of the day, I've been defending this championship since February. And I think that we need to start taking note of this. I'm the longest reigning Broken Predictions champion in history. I've successfully defended my title, once.
Well, I will say I may be the host, but I am not the announcer. So you may need to hire yourself a Paul Heyman or something to announce your title each pod.
Well, I think you should still do the job because I am your champion. Yes, thank you, Big T.
All
Thank
hail
you.
King Rome.
Juan is asking if we're gonna find a replacement to have a third person on the show. I'm open to the idea. We're definitely never gonna see Forrest again. He's fired. I fired him from the podcast. I don't know if I have that power, but I'm gonna assume as champion and co-host of the show along with Jeff, I think that I'm going to say that I do have that authority. I think, yeah.
I'm gonna have to have the lawyers check out the contract again, because just like I didn't read the fine print about the exhibition match there, I'll have to check that one out as well.
Yeah, make sure you have him read it over. Don't worry, I already had my guy read it over, and everything I think is to my liking.
Hey, Big T says he could be your Paul Heyman. We could record him saying, "Introducing your reigning, defending Broken Predictions champion."
Yeah, Big T, if you can get an audio clip it to Jeff, we could just play that. I'm fine with that. That's acceptable to me.
Juan, I actually really enjoy your idea. That is actually a great idea. If any of you guys have the ability to, we do want to do some special guests in the future. That is technically what Forrest was. He was one of our special guests we started having a while back.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know if I want to use the word special.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, look, all right. At the end of the day, the man, he's not even a man. Again, I don't want to retread my old promos, but he was a virtual boy. This boy really thought that he was going to beat me in a title match. If the title was actually on the line, I wouldn't have made the fun, silly, goofy picks I made. I was just having fun, you know what I mean? It's an exhibition match. The whole point of exhibition is you're just having some fun, So I wasn't really 100% even trying. I was just making some fun picks. Thought it would be fun to see Mox lose to Tanahashi. I thought it was going to be fun to see Cole win. It didn't happen, but yeah, of course it didn't happen because I wasn't really I wasn't using my brain. I was just kind of dicking around, you know what I mean? I was just having fun. So, yeah. I would be very interested in having, some of my fans on the podcast. I think that would be awesome. And I'm absolutely down for that.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Juan. Forrest is a beta. Right? And I'm the alpha, baby. You're not taking this from me. And now, Jeff, it sucks because now I gotta defend the title against you, and you're not taking this from me. You're over there with your mic muting and all this other stuff. You can't. You're not. It is what it is. Look,
we shall see. We shall see, sir.
I plan on continuing to defend this title, and it's gonna be a good few years before I gotta worry about anything. You know what I mean? So I'm feeling good. I get to enjoy excellent pro wrestling with you, my friend, and meanwhile being the champion, being on top of the world. There's nothing quite like it. So.
All right. Well, next time we face each other at the next pay-per-view, we shall see who is the better predictions champion, shall we?
Yeah. Well, just to comment also, I feel like Jeff would agree. Again, we are interested in having, special guests. Even if you can just, get in the Discord. We do have a Discord. Please join us on Discord at the Broken Tables Podcast.
Yes, let me pop that in the chat real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and pop that in the chat. But yeah, if you have a webcam, if you could do it on Discord, even just audio. I mean, I went a few weeks without a camera, so
yeah, Juan, you don't need a camera. All you need is a cell phone with Discord. That's all you need.
Yep, and we can get some rotating guests in here. It would definitely be an improvement over our previous special guests. Again, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but we're moving forward. We're done with Forrest. Forrest is never coming back. That's the end of it.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us tonight, you guys. Let's go ahead and have the podcast closed out by our reigning, defending, Broken Predictions champion, Rome.
There you go. So that was great. a little bit more oomph in your, tone and diction, but that was a great first attempt. Anyways,
Thanks.
this has been episode 50 of the Broken Tables podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a like and subscribe, or a follow depending on where you find us. Thank you for listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. Thank you to everybody in the chat tonight. We appreciate you guys as always. We love you. You can follow us on Twitter at Broken Table Show. You can also follow me separately at Twitter at X Gamer for Life X. It's also right below me. It's right here. Follow me, please. I would love to have some discourse with you guys on Twitter. But we go live on YouTube following every single AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and even pay-per-views. Death Before Dishonor is coming up. I believe we're going to be covering that. Is that correct, Jeff?
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic. We hope to see you guys again, but until next time, see you later.
Right on. Top guys out.